Running may actually help your knees. It seems counter to keeping joints healthy, pounding the pavement repetitively. It must cause wear and tear, right? Well, it turns out there's no more excuses.
Your body can do so much for you if you just ask it.
Mary Colleen Roberts has been running since 1980.
For me, it's about 7 miles. The endorphins kick in, and it's just so enjoyable.
The 63-year-old's even crossed a few marathon finish lines.
That was number 18.
Most recently in New York City on an unseasonably warm day.
My knees did not give me a problem at all during the race. That was not a problem. The problem was the heat.
Her worst injury, a calf strain. She did have meniscus and her right knee repaired, but not because of all the miles she's logged.
Bowling, right. So no arthritis in my knees.
I think that intuitively or conceptually, people would say, look, running must be bad.
Orthopedic surgeon Dr. Brian Cole fixes a lot of knees.
Increasing load to our lower extremities, our hips or our knees or our feet and ankles must be bad because of the pounding. But truth be told, the literature has not borne that out.
Instead, some studies argue the activity may provide a protective benefit by strengthening the muscles around the knee joint and ultimately bulking up the cartilage.
The prevalence of osteoarthritis actually is about 3 to 4% in runners, where it's about 10% in all comers.
There are variables when it comes to risk for cartilage damage. Hours of exposure, genetic predisposition, alignment, history of previous injury, and occupational workload all factor in. But for most of us, load-bearing exercise is highly beneficial when it comes to reducing obesity and boosting cardiac, respiratory, cognitive, and bone health.
The one caveat is that a symptomatic individual, someone who has pain, achiness, low discomfort, swelling, may see an uptick in their symptoms when they increase their loads. But that's not the same thing as saying that they're causing more damage to their joints. And that's very important for people to understand, because many, many people are running with arthritis and they don't even know they have it.
For Mary, good genes may have kept her going all these years. Her 71-year-old brother has completed 66 marathons. But her running buddies are holding strong as well.
The people I run with and have been running with for the last 24 years, they're my age. I really don't want to quit doing this.
She may not have to, even if she does develop osteoarthritis down the road.
The primary question that people ask is, look, now that I know that I have arthritis, if I engage in running and high-impact activities, will I make that arthritis worse? And I think the take-home is that there is no evidence suggesting that that is the case. I think the bottom line is that we're always doing this risk-benefit assessment. When I look at the benefits of running, which is still the most popular cardiovascular exercise, I would argue that the benefits far outweigh the risks.
I'm just going to keep running until I can't anymore, and I think that will never happen. I think I'll always be able to run.
Elite runners do appear to have a higher prevalence of osteoarthritis on X-ray findings, but many do not develop symptoms. Back to you.